Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Uh, I was listening to a very, very short snippet. I didn't even listen to the entire conversation because it took me somewhere. But to what Shannon and Skip were saying about what has been reported, Kyrie is viewing the NBA. Now, first of all, as we know, we've learned our lesson. We don't take nothing from anybody in regards to it being truth. If he didn't say it, it ain't it ain't to be taken too seriously. Kyrie already let us know how he felt in 30 minutes worth of talking. And if he has something else to say to us, he'll let us know. But I think from what they're saying, I can segue it into my own opinion. You know what I mean? It's more along the lines of that. They're saying that he sees the NBA as a 9 to 5. My thing is this. First of all, I look at Kyrie as an artist. He's an artist. When it comes to basketball, what he does with the ball on the court, there's no question that he loves the game. I don't have to question that. That's never going to be in question. What is in question is whether or not he loves being a professional for the NBA. And what comes with that can, for some, I'd imagine, not feel like art. It's sort of like what I say about following the numbers in regards to this very thing, my very channel, or some of the other things that I do. Once you start putting money and expectations as it pertains to attention and all of that to what it is that you love to do, it can snatch the fun out of it. And when you couple that with the greed of others, the expectations that surround the game itself, not just playing and going home, but having to speak to people and having to show up for certain things, having to be a part of certain things that don't necessarily pertain to shooting and practicing and all of that stuff, it then cannot necessarily feel like love anymore. It can start to feel like you're obligated. That obligation is not only a feeling, but it's written in stone. When you write these contracts, sign these contracts, it's written in stone. And most importantly, it seems like players, if you look around, a lot of them are being punished for being good enough at a time, at a certain point, to receive a certain portion of the market share. And what I mean by punished is, look at John Wall. He hasn't been on the floor in several years, not only because of injury, but because of the contract that he has. Look at Russell Westbrook, for example. Because of the fit that he has on his team and his contract, he's viewed as a cancer. Never mind how he's performing. That's not the point. It's the fact that the contract itself, within the confines of the cap situation and the system that the cap represents, makes it so that it's not just about basketball. Now he has to be on a team that maybe doesn't fit him because of that contract. Now he's looked at as somebody who needs to be gotten rid of because of that contract. It ain't just running around playing ball. It's not. The NBA is not just running around playing ball. It seems like the higher the contract is, the more confined the player is. Look at Ben Simmons. He wants to leave his current situation and is literally trapped there and being attacked by others, everybody basically, for not wanting to play there when he's willing to give back money. How the hell is that not a 9 to 5? How is that supposed to be looked at as something that's represented in passion when we ain't even sure Kyrie even said these things and they're discussing it on their show? What does it have to do with basketball? What does it have to do with being an artist and being able to dribble and shoot and work the perfect science of basketball? What does it have to do with being able to shoot and be a competitor on the floor and ultimately sweat and all of that stuff? It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's the stuff surrounding the game that makes it feel like a 9 to 5, if it does feel like a 9 to 5 to any of these players. No different than I listen to a lot of these guys talking about music. There's a lot of chatter about music and how music doesn't feel like love anymore for a lot of these artists, because once they get involved with these record companies, it's about the expectations and numbers, how much money you're making, how much clout you're getting, who's paying attention to what, and the chatter surrounding. The music is watered down because of those things, and you can't even make the music you want to make. You can't even express yourself properly because you're too busy trying to live up to the expectations of those who've invested in you. That's not no art. That's not love. And you can see it in other art forms all over the world when money starts getting involved, when investors who are not creatives start getting involved, applying their different methods of making money to these artists. It doesn't feel like love anymore. It's one of the reasons why I haven't focused on promotion and expectations, because once money gets involved, you no longer have any control. It's no longer an art form. You no longer have creative, all of the creative freedoms that come with enjoying something that you love to do. And as an artist of many forms, I can tell you, the creativity is what fuels the passion. It's what brings the best out of me. So if you take that from me, it's not art anymore. It's just copy and paste. It's just me trying to figure out how best to bring the numbers about. It's just about me trying to fuel the expectations or meet those expectations. I don't want that. That's not love for me. It doesn't mean I don't love music. It just means that once you start telling me who and what I can put on my playlist, because of the money that you've invested in me, now I can't use this artist because that artist is blackball. I can't use this artist because they ain't got the numbers up. Now I can't use them because they're not signed to the right people. We're not affiliated with them. I don't give a dang about that. When I make my playlist, I listen to what I want to listen to. I put it in the order that I want to hear it, and there's no one telling me otherwise. I don't care if you blackball them, you don't like them, they got money, they got the highest numbers, whatever. If it sounds good to me and it matches what I want, it's put on there, and I love it that way. Now, the flip side is I don't get a dime for that. But you think it feels like a 9 to 5? No. It feels like stress relief. It feels like art. It feels like passion. So no, I don't blame any athlete, whether this is a true story or not. I don't blame any athlete for feeling like the NBA is a 9 to 5, because y'all snatch the love out of everything when y'all start applying y'all money to it. Non-creatives who don't have nothing but the understanding of how to make money and how to force creatives and artists into helping you do that. And they're so easily replaceable. That aspect of it does make it worse. Because an artist can't just be an artist, because now he has to worry about whether or not you're going to replace him if he doesn't meet those numbers. Now a basketball player can't just be a basketball player, because now he has to worry about somebody else taking his spot. It's not just basketball. It's a bunch of other stuff. It's not just football. It's not just baseball. This isn't limited to anything. This is what happens when big business gets involved with any art form and starts flexing on the artist. That's why in music, independence is so important. It's not just about being able to get your portion of the market share without the middleman snatching your money. It's about being able to have the artistic freedom to do what it is that you love without having somebody tell you what it is and what it ain't. For those who are non-creatives, you don't see the importance of this because your focus is money. But believe me, as an artist, you're taking a part of our soul from us. You're snatching the love for what it is that we were meant to do and love to do, and you're replacing it with something that we hate. So no, I can definitely speak to that myself when I say it's a give and take. Because an artist doesn't want to starve. A guy like Kyrie Irving would obviously love to live a nice, lifestyle and provide himself a family lifestyle and generational wealth. A guy like Ben Simmons, I'm sure, in a perfect world, would love to not have to give back his money in order to get to a situation that isn't toxic to his mind or what have you. But the fact of the matter is, because big business has evolved, you got all this chatter around and all this other expectations and things of that nature that don't have just to do with playing basketball. As to where something that would be a stress relief for a guy who already has other things on his mind, other concerns in his life, now he has to have this as another stress because of the money aspect and because of the greed aspect of those who are investing, who want returns on their investment at all costs, who can't relate in a lot of cases to what an artist is about, and who doesn't care anything about art because it's not within their range of things to consider. As an artist, I think the most important thing is to be able to have freedom beyond anything else in what it is that you do, because without that, it isn't art. It isn't art at all. It's just you meeting the expectations of those who invested in you. And that is, in fact, a job, a 9 to 5, something that otherwise isn't going to feel very passionate for a lot of people. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm not mad at anybody who feels that way. If Kyrie happens to feel that way, you know I get it. I get it too much, unfortunately. And it is what it is. That's why all creatives need to have their own ownership. It's best if you can, if at all possible, to have your money early, even though you'll probably be given hell for ownership. And if you notice in music, there's one thing that's always consistent. I see this in music a lot. If you have your own money and you don't need those investors, you will be in a situation where doors will close on you. You won't have friends, allies in the business. They may even take you out for having your own money and that creative freedom, because they don't want any artist to desire that, because without them, they can't make money off you. Without them, it's a situation where they can't allow themselves to be removed from the situation at all. Greed. Oh man, greed is horrible. And a lot of times you got to understand, a lot of these dudes get a lot of money and they start looking around to how to exploit different things to make that money. They're already bad guys to begin with. They got their money probably in bad ways. So they're not interested in pushing off good energy on these artists. They're looking to pimp them out, slave them in some cases, rape them out of what it is that they do in some cases. Not in all, but in too many cases. And you're seeing a revolution of sorts in regards to independence because of it. We don't want the middleman. Like a lot of people want fame and want the numbers and all of that. And for those artists, that's a different category. You're your own man. You got your own, you're your own woman. You got your own thing. But for those artists who are true artists that aren't interested in just attention and making money and making numbers and all of that, once money starts getting involved, it's a horrible thing. So independence is the way to go. And unfortunately for athletes, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Either you attach yourself to these big, huge conglomerates so that you can play your game at the highest level because they have all of the highest level talent, or you haven't reached the pinnacle for the art form that you're in. And with that pinnacle comes a responsibility to meet these expectations of these different organizations who harbor all of the best talent. So what does a guy like Kyrie do? Play against the lesser talent in the world? Not play at the highest level? Or swallow all the bullcrap that comes with playing the highest level? And the guilt trips and all the nonsense that comes with it. You must do this, you must do that because it's in your contract. Well, if I didn't sign the contract, how would I ever be able to play against the highest level opponent? How would I ever be able to do my art form at its best level? I wouldn't, would I? No, I got to either swallow your bullcrap, investor, and deal with all your nonsense and idiosyncrasies and all the bullcrap that comes with you, or just accept the fact that my art form never gets to be expressed in its best form for the world to see. It's awful, man. The way this world spins, in some ways, is just terrible. And because we've allowed it to go on this long, and because we've lived this way for so long, and we've allowed these people to really control things for so long, it's almost like you don't feel like there's any other way. It's like it's supposed to be this way. No, it's not. Leeches are not supposed to be sucking the life out of artists as it pertains to the things that they enjoy doing. And that's exactly what we've been seeing for a very long time in a lot of different forms. Independence, my friend. We need to discover ways of being able to gain the capital necessary to be able to express ourselves in our various art forms without that middleman, without that big conglomerate. And trust me, if you try to do that, they're going to do everything they can, including knocking you off, to assure that you never influence others to do that. And that's what their agenda must be, to stay alive in the businesses and the various things that they're doing. I feel sorry for all the independent artists that get blackballed and, cut off in different situations, murdered. We see it. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.